I feel like I'm pussy farting around.
Yeah.
Let's just get into it.
That's not the term.
What is
It's
it?
pussy footing. Anywho.
So
Archie sends a you up text.
Archie is like, Betty, you up? Because he's feeling really, really, like, I don't know, in his head about the Grundy situation.
And he's also feeling bad about the fact that he told her that he didn't love her.
Yeah,
So
that's also that's weighing on his conscience a little bit.
a little.
And I feel like she's really not having it at all.
No, as per the picture.
As per the picture.
And she turns off the light, but doesn't close the blinds.
And I feel like that's telling.
It is telling.
I don't know. But they do have, like, I don't know. I feel like it's always been there, but I feel like their window connection is really prevalent in the first 2 episodes.
Yes.
Like, I don't know. There was just a moment during the you up text exchange where, like, they're both, like, half naked, getting ready for bed, and just, like, looking into each other's eyes across the window. And I'm like,
it's very...
Guys,
what are we doing?
What are we doing?
Install blackout curtain.
Yeah, no, literally.
Or, I don't know,
Move.
anything. Leave.
Like, leave.
Move.
Move.
But the next thing that he decides to do is take a run, shirtless, of course.
Take a midnight jog. Archie loves to run alone at night with no clothes on.
He really does. And where is he running to?
But more importantly, what's he running from?
Shotgate. That's where he's
Shotgate.
I've decided to start calling it that.
I really like that, actually. That makes me giggle. He's, like, clearing his head, and he goes over to Miss Grundy's house, to actually answer your question.
Yes.
Of where he's running to. He goes over to Geraldine's house, and he's like, girl.
We have got to tell somebody because this is getting ridiculous.
And he kind of, like, I don't know, he loves to give an ultimatum.
He really does. He's like, I'm going to tell them
all of your secrets.
Yeah. And then she's like, no, I'll get arrested and you'll get expelled. She says you'll get expelled or something like that.
And I'm
really
like,
silly. No,
those are
bestie.
not equal.
Those aren't equal. And also
why
would he get expelled?
Yeah.
That's not his fault. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think she's crazy.
Low key. I think she's crazy.
Unpopular opinion, Geraldine Grundy is not a good person. The next thing that happens is Alice is telling Betty to never talk to Archie again, and then she goes and walks to school with Archie.
Yeah. They do have a really interesting walk to school.
They do. Where they're just like, hey, we'll be friends. Like, I still want to be in your life. We've been together forever. We've been friends forever. So we might as well stay friends.
Yeah. I like seeing them be friendly.
I agree. I'm not a Barchie shipper, guys.
I'm not a Barchie shipper.
I don't like them together. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I never get there.
Actually, you're right. Because my true intentions will become clear.
Yeah.
Anywho, they're walking to school. They get to school. And Betty's called to the front. Betty's called to the front office because of a, like, package that she has been given. And it is a big old bouquet of yellow flowers straight from care of Veronica Lodge.
Of course.
And do you know what the yellow is for?
It's for
friendship. Yeah.
Aww.
And there they are. Sorry, Kevin.
Kevin, sorry. We've taken over.
But honestly, inside out Kevin's head, us.
You know what? Yeah.
And that's so scary.
Oh, and that's really scary.
So scary. But yeah, yellow for friendship, I think for some reason has, like, really actually stuck with me, like, in my day-to-day life.
And it hasn't stuck with me at all. Like, I didn't remember this
literally
at
when
all.
this happened, I was like,
really
guys, it's yellow for friendship. And Maddie was like, no.
Okay.
Like, no noise, no notes.
I didn't move.
Yeah.
I
went, but I don't know. I like this scene. I think it's cute.
I think it's cute too.
Betty is in a very just, like, forgive everybody mood. And it's very obvious that she doesn't actually
forgive.
It's too soon.
Yeah. And especially with Veronica, like, she even says, she's like, well, Veronica will just forget about me. She'll find another person to, like, mentor or whatever.
And if only it was that easy.
Because let me tell you, Betty, you are stuck with Veronica. Okay,
Oh.
B&V forever.
B&V forever. Veronica.
And there it is.
And there it is.
And there it is.
And there it. Oop. There it is. But the next major thing at school is that while Betty's getting her yellow for friendship roses, Archie is walking around listening. He loves to listen.
He loves a little eavesdrop. What a silly little guy.
What a little guy.
And the intercom? That's the word.
Yeah.
Intercom comes over, and it's Sheriff Keller, who is like, hey guys, if you know anything about Jason, you better say something. Like, you need to say something because we're treating this as a murder case.
Yeah.
So
like, anyone come forward. Is this also where Cheryl's on the intercom?
Yeah, Cheryl says something, but what does she say?
Cheryl says something deranged, and it's really funny. But I think it's something to the effect of just like, you will be dealt with. Like,
yeah. It is. It's very
like,
threatening vibes. And Archie is like walking around, and he's like, oh my God. And he like sort of makes intense eye contact with Principal Weatherby,
who we haven't addressed yet.
But he will be here for like a long time.
Weatherby's like a mainstay.
He really is.
And I really enjoy.
I love that for him. And he looks the same age the whole time.
Yeah.
I don't think he literally doesn't look like he aged at all.
Change. Well, like, his character changes kind of crazy.
Yeah.
But he doesn't like visually change at all.
He looks the exact same.
He could honestly be wearing the same suit the entire show.
I think he probably is. I think it's like brown or something like that. Like it. Yeah.
Sheriff Keller also gets introduced here.
That's
Kevin's
true.
dad.
That's true. I don't think we've seen
him, but
visually
this is our first this is Kevin's dad. And I don't know. I feel like watching this, it's not clear yet that Sheriff Keller is supportive.
Yeah.
Like, it's not said explicitly that it's like, boo, Kevin, I hate you because you're gay. But it's like, it's not explicit. That's kind of a question that this episode left open for me.
Yeah, I agree, because I actually don't remember. I'm thinking back, and I'm like,
I feel like it isn't.
I can't remember.
I feel like it just kind of like slipped in that like his dad's the sheriff, and then like assume what you will out of that as to whether or not he's maybe more or less supportive. But
I agree.
I don't know. Archie, though, is definitely like intimidated, I'd say, by Sheriff Keller.
Yes. I think so too. He's very like, Archie, you'll come to find, has a moral compass that, well, if he thinks something is right, he's really, really, really into it. And whether or not whether what he thinks is right is actually right is like a different story. But like, if he thinks something is right, he like has to do it.
Yeah,
like
that actually is the best description of Archie's moral code.
Yeah,
because
he's supposed to be like
the paragon. Of like goodness.
Yes,
and I think in reality, it is like whatever he thinks is good.
Yes.
He is a paragon of that.
Yes.
He does stand in his convictions.
He stands on his business, but whether or not his business is like
valid,
good or ethical,
or like, that's a bigger question.
Yeah. And if that wasn't enough, Jughead, he really comes for Archie.
Oh.
He goes, you got something to tell me, bud?
Yeah.
Which is kind of crazy. And then we find out that Archie and Jughead were fighting because Archie just straight up didn't go on a road trip with Jughead over 4th of July weekend.
Jughead be so for real.
Like,
I'm sorry.
I don't think that's big enough to blow up a friendship.
I don't, like, a childhood, like, decades long. I mean, maybe there are things building up to that, and it was like the straw that broke the camel's back or something.
But like, I mean, yes, I'd be annoyed, but I wouldn't be like, okay, I'm never talking to you again.
Yeah, because also canceling a road trip last minute, like,
what if he was sick?
What if he was sick?
In reality, he was,
I mean,
with Geraldine.
Listening to gunshots.
But
so, like, I'm not saying that it was good what he skipped for, but it's just like, if Jughead didn't know anything, which I believe at this time he doesn't.
He does not.
So, like, he's just kind of upset over nothing, in my opinion.
I agree. Like, I don't know. I think Jughead, you need to like get over yourself. Yeah. But I think that's actually, now that I think about it, that's pretty like consistent. Like, he
in the same way that like Archie stands on his like self-determined moral compass and like roots in on that, I feel like Jughead really like digs in on anything he perceives as like a slight against him.
I agree, because he thinks he's like so cool and so out of like everybody else, like, oh, out of the loop. Sorry, I hit my microphone. Out of the loop and everything like that.
Yeah.
So I think he just like anything that is against him or like
anything
I don't know
he can rebel against.
Yes,
is
I
like,
agree. Yeah, he's
against it.
Yeah.
Yeah. This episode was way more Jughead heavy.
Yes. Like last episode, I feel like Jughead, where was he?
Yeah.
He was missing. The real mystery is where's Jughead?
The real mystery is where's Jughead?
But this one, he's here.
He's here.
He's looped in. He's in the action.
He's in the action. And speaking of the action.
Yes. We go to science class where they're dissecting frogs. And Cheryl's twin tuition tells her that somebody they all know had to have killed Jason.
Mm-hmm.
So she's just really being so dramatic in this episode, like incredibly dramatic.
Yeah.
Just the whole time. But that's honestly Cheryl. So
yeah.
And then we get a crazy transition from the dissection of the frogs to Jason's autopsy, which I think is kind of insane.
Kind of insidious behavior. But I mean, honestly, at this point, like not unheard of.
But like, oh my God. Like, I don't know. That really took me off guard.
One, but it's also where we really start to see the Alice Cooper slay.
And Alice Cooper has her thumbs in every pie. And
Riverdale. Her thumbs in every pie.
I don't even know if that's actually an idiom, but in my head it is.
I really like it.
She's
but
her thumb in every pie of Riverdale.
She's pictured here bribing Dr. Curdle Sr.
Mm-hmm. Very important.
Barty Crouch
Jr.
With Dr. Curdle Sr., the mortician of Riverdale. He's a major character.
Oh, yeah.
Well, him and his lineage.
Yes. His spawn. Spawn of Curdle.
So Alice is out here, like, really getting the scoop. And I applaud her for that.
I do too.
She does make some offhand, really callous remarks about like Jason deserved to die, or like glad that Blossom Boy finally bit the bullet or something.
Yeah, or like he deserves to rot in hell, or that this is gonna be great for her and Hal's newspaper.
And Hal of all people is going to be like, Alice, calm down.
Yeah.
And it's like, whoa, diva, that's how you know it's crazy.
That's how you know it's crazy.
That's
oh,
how you
for
know,
sure.
because I don't know, but Alice is really like into this investigation. She's bribing Dr. Curdle to get like first dibs on the autopsy report, and I don't think she finds anything right away.
Yeah, I think it takes a second for the information to become public.
Yeah, but trust, her thumb is in every pie.
Oh yeah.
With Alice, it's always like an adventure.
It really is. I love her so much.
I really like her in season 2.
Mm-hmm.
I think here she's fun to be like, oh, you're a little bit of a villain, but I kind of like you. Like, in the sense of like you're fun to watch, like be crazy.
Yeah.
Later it is like, whoa, actually I'm on Alice's side.
Mm-hmm.
But this time it's just kind of like, you're doing a lot, diva, but you're doing stuff.
Yeah.
Like you're driving the plot.
Mm-hmm.
And the plot.
Oh, the plot.
So after Cheryl's making all of the threats via intercom,
that's
and
true.
Archie's like staring down Principal Weatherby. They're having a moment. Sheriff Keller's like yapping.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of threats. After that, we kind of see the kids at lunch.
Yeah, we cut to Archie playing demos at lunch again. I have to repeat, so annoying.
Veronica and Betty walk up having a little bit of a tiff. And Kevin is kind of like inciting the tiff, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Like they're together and they had the yellow flowers moment, but like they're still kind of like, I
don't know, there's like distance.
Beefing. And I think Kevin says something about like, oh yeah, like steal Archie. Something
yes.
about that.
Oh,
like,
that's so true. He's like, keep it in the closet or something like that.
And
they're like, huh.
7 minutes in heaven.
I see.
So then Veronica walks up and is kind of like, Archie, play something. Like, get us out of this awkward situation.
Please.
Which, never do a demo track to get out of an awkward situation.
Because it just creates another awkward situation.
And that is evidenced by the fact that Archie starts playing a love song.
And Betty can't take it.
Because, well, context. everything in context, right? It's a love song about Geraldine Grundy, and they don't know that, the people listening,
Yes.
Betty, Veronica, and Kevin, but it's literally like a heartfelt, tender love song, and Betty's like, I know this isn't about me. Like, why am I listening to this? This is way too much. It's like, I can only imagine like 11:30 a.m. on a school day, like, too much. So she bails. She leaves the lunch table.
She leaves and she's like, I thought I could do this. I thought we could be friends, but I just can't. Like, I can't be around you like this right now.
And so it really blows up in Betty's face, the attempt to like put it all inside and like forgive everyone right away.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't last long.
No,
she's not able to like hold it together. And so she kind of storms off. Archie also storms off a little bit, I think maybe with the intent to chase her.
I think so.
But he kind of gets caught up by Principal Weatherby, who's like checking in on him after that weird like locked gaze.
Staring into eyes.
Yeah. And Principal Weatherby's basically like, so I noticed you looked pretty guilty while I was giving the announcement about Jason's death. Like, anything you want to say, Archie? And Archie's like, no, not yet.
So if we thought Jughead being like, ooh, do you have something to tell me, bud, was a lot, well, Archie, spurred on by the intercom, decides to go up to Grundy during school. Now he's really like, we have to tell somebody. Like, this is crazy. Like, we have to tell somebody. And she's like, oh, what we have is real. And he's like, oh my God, yeah. And I'm just like, hey, what is going on? Like, why are we not discussing this further? I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like Grundy is always just like, I love you.
Yeah.
She doesn't say that.
She loves a pivot.
But
and I don't know. Her and that cello.
And that damn cello.
She loves to hide behind the cello.
She really does.
And I don't know. I feel like Archie's trying to convince her, but it's getting a little steamy in the music room.
It really is.
Because she's pivoting and trying to like, don't accuse me of things. I seduce. That's a tactic.
It is.
Jughead, of all people, walks by and is like, whoa.
He's like, oh my, what's going on?
And this is the reaction shot of like Jughead finding them.
I love this. Do you think they darkened his eye bags?
I feel like,
or did they just look like that?
I feel like maybe they did, but no, I think he's definitely maked up.
Because
I think he's definitely made up.
Especially apparent in this, but like they're like, and I have eye bags, let me tell you, but like they're puffy. They're out there.
They enlarged his eye bags.
I feel like they did. I don't know. It's freaking me out.
So at Vixen's practice, they're practicing for an upcoming pep rally, I believe.
Which, I don't know about you, but my pep rallies were always inside.
They were always in the gym.
So I don't know why they're outside and also why they're doing it during the rain, but go off.
They're preparing for an outdoor wet pep rally. And in order to do so, Cheryl's composed a new routine for them. And it's really iconic.
It is.
And I feel like, I don't know, I just really love the HBIC. Cheryl's the only person with any monogram on her back.
Yes, and also the fact that this is like a school sponsored thing and they let that happen. What did you think she told them it was? Head bombshell in charge.
Head bombshell in charge. She could have actually, that could be actually her intended meaning.
I know, it could not be head bitch at all.
Yeah. Maybe I'm just projecting.
Hot bombshell in charge.
Hot bombshell in charge.
Ooh, a hot new bombshell into Sevilla.
Anywho, but yeah, Veronica did get the like lead solo at this or in this routine though, which I think is really cool for her.
I think that is cool for her, and also, okay, Cheryl, why are you not?
Yeah, but
I don't know, but I love that for her. And by the way, while Veronica is walking down this line of people, they are like twerking, but in like the least of the sense of the word. Like they're like politely just sort of like bouncing up and down,
lifting their like hips,
but there's no like arching, there's no nothing. It's just like sort of up and down.
It almost feels like more of a knee centered movement.
It does. And and the idea of being one of these actors and doing this take after take after take is horrifying.
Yeah.
I'm so scared.
But Penelope got a job at Pops.
Penelope?
Hermione! We haven't met Penelope yet. Oh, and I can't wait.
You guys, that diva.
That diva.
Ooh, that diva.
Ooh, Miss Diva.
Ugh.
Anywho, pardon me. Not to mix up my divas, because Hermione's also a diva.
Hermione is this diva, but dare I say it, less of a diva.
Dare I say. I feel like I forgot how involved she is in the plot of season 1.
Yeah.
And I actually really like it.
I do too.
Like, I feel like
her.
it balances out, like, the
Alice.
vibes. And very that. Because I think it is a yin and yang between Hermione and Alice.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Hermione got a job at Pops as a, like, server.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like she's kind of eating it. I really like this, like, on her.
She looks really cutie, and
Yeah.
she's basically calling Archie hot.
Oh.
She's like, oh, you're Fred Andrews' son.
Yeah.
I see the resemblance.
Yeah, because Archie comes in to pick up a to-go order.
Mm-hmm.
Which
They're always picking up a to-go order.
Which I feel like, I don't know why that just feels silly to me.
Like, just sit down.
Like, just sit Because also, I don't know why it feels silly, like, I don't know why in my brain, like, in a drive-through, 1 bag of food for 2 people makes total sense. Like, that's valid. Like, that makes, like, I understand that. When Archie picked up, like, dinner to go from Pops for him and Fred, and it was just, like, 1 bag, it felt so small. Like,
yeah, like,
I don't know.
Damn, Pop, are you skimping them?
Like,
are
you
like little baby burgers?
Or did they both
like,
order, like, yeah, like, I don't know. It just felt like...
It feels like when I see Pops, when we sit down, it's like
a
big ass burger and like lots of fries and like
4
huge milkshakes.
Yeah, and so like I don't know, it just like in this scene like specifically, I don't know why that like stood out to me. I just thought it was silly.
I completely understand.
Because he just kind of like carries it in a hand and is like, I got my Pops. I'm like, okay.
It's like,
so Veronica's there talking with Hermione.
Yep.
And like vibing, talking about the school day. When Archie walks in, Hermione kind of like catches a vibe and is like, oh, Veronica can like walk with you home, like as with your to-go order, like take it out, like walk together, have a fun time. Kind of mirror imaging Betty and Archie's walk to school.
That's so true, yeah.
And
I think basically all they do is just talk about like, hey, like you and Betty should make up. And...
Yeah. So after the Hermione Pops interaction, Archie walking back home with Veronica, we're kind of like a pretty smooth cut, like transition from like Archie walking up to his house into Betty's house. As part of Veronica's apology, she tried to get a bunch of like do it together activities, like a spa day and like mani-pedis and stuff, and then they're doing this little tussle at the Vixens practice, and Betty's like, actually, Cheryl, I happened to come across this big set of like friendship activities. Would you want to have like a spa day with me and like hang out? And Cheryl's like, oh, absolutely, Betty. And Cheryl has some ulterior motives.
She really does, but also just something about this picture is very like the girl on the other girl doing the makeup picture. You know the one. Everybody knows the one. Do you know what I'm talking about? From Tumblr?
I'm sorry, I don't know if I do. Could you describe it?
Oh my god, yeah.
Maybe I do and I just don't know it.
So it's like a girl laying on the bed, and then there's another girl like straddling her, like putting makeup on, and they just look so in love.
Real. It's very that.
Oh my god, I can't believe you haven't seen that. Oh.
No, I'm sorry.
Ooh, I hope the viewers have.
Can I tell you
and
my
I don't
version
sound crazy.
of that?
Yeah.
There's one, I think it might even be like a Pinterest image. I don't think it's as popular. I don't think it's like iconography like that. But just there's like a image of like some like a boy shaving another boy's face.
Oh, that's giving that.
And like
it's
very just like grooming each other.
Yeah.
And like
yeah.
very personal space.
Very like
a lot of trust.
Yes.
I don't know, something about it. But
no, that's very that. Same thing.
Same thing. But this still like does evoke all of that.
It really does.
And I don't know. There's just a lot of charged energy.
It is, and it's very strange to me. And Cheryl is also like, while this is happening, is like, so what about Polly? What about your sister? Like, what's up there?
So what's up there?
And
like,
Betty's like, hello?
Yeah. But she's like really
digging in.
Like really asking a bunch of Polly Jason questions, picking at a motive. Picking at like...
Yeah.
Betty, I think your sister shot my brother.
Yeah. And so it all culminates in this crazy scene. Betty is asking why Cheryl is asking all these questions. And Cheryl says, Because you dumb cow. Someone shot my brother. And I think it was your crazy tweaked out sister. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And, well, Betty's response to this is, Cheryl, get the hell out of my house before I kill you.
Before I kill you.
And, well, that's a lot.
And that's iconic.
And honestly, I feel like this is the first flash of Dark Betty. Oh. And there's things to come with that.
I think we should leave it at that.
We should leave it at that. But there are things to come with that.
That's a teaser. But yeah, this still, I think, is one of the more iconic ones. Just because I don't, like...
Also, this is so close up. This is not zoomed in. This is just the way it appears.
This is, like, photo accurate.
Yeah.
Photo accurate. Yeah. Betty fully threatened Cheryl, and Cheryl actually backs down. Like,
Cheryl is freaked.
Put Cheryl, like, in a pod, in a state. I don't know. Madeline Pesh just always has great face.
Yeah.
And I really like Madeline Pesh.
I love her so much. We were talking about, if anybody has seen The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, we were talking about how Madeline Pesh would be such a good Whitney.
She'd be the best Whitney. Like, in the scariest way possible, with her, like her shoulder length hair.
Yeah.
And, like,
the flipped up ends. I don't know. Ooh.
Like, it would go so crazy if, like, maybe we have to produce it. Like,
I think so too. I think we should, you know what, guys? Blow up the pod and we'll make this
make Secret Lives of Mormon Wives starring Madeline Pesh. Yeah.
So now we cut back to Jughead confronting Archie about the whole Grundy caress in the music room.
Yeah, I like that.
And Archie just immediately spills his guts. He's like, oh my god, yes, we've been together, we heard the gunshot, I don't know what to do. And Jughead's like, dude, you need to tell somebody because that's crazy. Yeah. And also, she doesn't like you. Like, he's not here for it, and I really appreciate that. Do I think he could have digged in even more? Yes. I think he could have probably said, like, hey, she's a teacher, maybe we shouldn't do this, like, let's think about this beyond, like, the shot.
I guess one way to put it is he's not saying I'm trapped in this teacher situation and we got implicated in, like, witnessing a crime. It's very, like, he's almost wanting to keep on the
he's like,
Grundy
this
situation.
Is throwing a wrench in my relationship. No, bestie.
And that's kind of where it gets a little dicey, where, like, Jughead is really the one to be like, hey, pump the brakes. But it's kind of big development that Archie finally told someone. And I'm glad it was Jughead.
I'm glad it was Jughead too. Because while I think that his dad would have been, like, the best option, I feel like he was never gonna do that. So I do feel like it's good that he at least told Jughead, like, they're preparing their friendship.
Yeah.
Slowly but slowly.
At least slowly but slowly.
Alice is staging the house after Cheryl was there, which is so iconic and also very my mom.
And I love that.
Yeah.
Like, something about, like, cleansing the space, which I wouldn't say Alice is a spiritual person.
No,
in
but
the greater sense.
Feel like in this sense, she'll take it up if it benefits her.
Oh, yeah. Maybe something about this, like, spiritual tapped into the cosmos, like, she kind of prophesizes some stuff.
She really does.
Like, she's kind of spitting. Low-key, she, like, I don't know if we'll spoil it here, but in this interaction with Betty, she low-key's, like, calls out who ends up being Jason's killer.
She really does. And it's kind of like, oh.
It's kind of just thrown out there, like, a throwaway line. Like, it's not a clue or anything. It's just, like...
But if you went back and watched it after,
as Sweet Ed.
Which, of course.
It's just kind of like, whoa. Alice really, like, barely even got the autopsy results and knew immediately who did it.
Yeah.
And that's just, like, she eats.
She really does eat with that.
Like, the
I'm very
investigative
proud of her,
journalism
honestly.
is crazy.
Yeah.
But basically, Betty is just, like, not having any of the saging situation. Distressed and upset after the fight at lunch, losing, like, Archie as an old friend, Veronica as a new friend. And I think she's really just, like, tired of the whole routine of bottling it up.
Yes.
I think that's what it really comes down to. And she kind of, like, again lashes out in a fight with Alice about that. And I think that's kind of where the scene leaves us, is with that sense of, like, Betty is done.
She needs to feel her emotions and, like, actually
express them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Instead of just, like, being like, oh, I'm fine, everything's fine.
And I think she even says something here about, like, ponytail or, like,
yes,
like everything's like pulled back and like
Right.
high standard of the Coopers and like
Mm-hmm.
all of that nonsense. So we kind of leave the Betty situation with that in mind of like she's just turning over a new leaf. But we kind of go back to the next day of school. I think this is the day of the pep rally.
Yeah.
It's like the day of school before the pep rally at night. Again, all of my school pep rallies were during the day.
I agree. Unless this is like, no, because pep rallies start at the beginning of the school. I don't know.
I don't really know. But I guess to be fair, we did have like a parade every once in a while that was like in the evening.
Yeah, that's true, I guess.
I guess like, I don't know. Something about the pep rally like scheduling feels off.
It does.
Nevertheless, it's like in the school day, tensions are running high because all of these teenagers are like accusing each other of murder.
It's kind of crazy.
And I'm kind of like obsessed.
I
mean,
am
obviously,
too, because I feel like I was gonna say if I was in this situation I'd do the same thing, but I really don't think I would.
I don't think my initial instinct would be like,
oh yes, one of the teenagers killed him.
Like one of my
whoa.
classmates did it. And like, let's just say some pretty offhand jokes and like remarks are made in reference to like, I guess I'll just cut to the chase. Like Reggie and everyone are together inside of like the little common area of Riverdale High, which epic little student lounge.
It's very nice. And we come back to it a lot and I love it. We come back to
it a lot. It's a main like location. But Reggie's there with everybody. Reggie's like cracking a bunch of jokes about like Jason died. And then
what was Kevin doing at the lake or
like,
not the lake?
What were you doing there,
river.
Moose? Like,
and it's like, oh, okay.
Oh, Reggie, okay. And then Jughead starts like catching strays because Reggie's like, oh, I bet you'd do something with the body, wouldn't you? Or like, what does he even say?
He goes on this like long rant about like, oh, I bet it was some weird guy who doesn't talk to anybody and always stays away. You know what? I bet you do something to the body, Jughead. Yeah. And Jughead's like, whoa.
And then Jughead eats him up.
He really does. It's necrophilia, Reggie. Can you spell it? Ooh. And no. And honestly, I don't think I can.
And that's okay.
And I have a degree.
And that's my BS.
My BS.
No, I think that was one of Jughead's rare, like you ate that up. That one also stuck with me.
I'm so obsessed with that. It didn't stick with me either. I'm sorry. I don't know why none of the things that stick with you stick with me.
But this is a through line because this happens at the pep rally too.
It does.
And I think it's actually where we go next.
It is, yeah.
Because the school day happens, blah, 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 blah. We're at the pep rally.
Oh, yes, we are.
Speaking of things that stuck with me.
Uh-huh. And also everybody is making up now.
Oh, yeah.
This is the first of many.
Everybody's like vibing. Before, I guess I jumped ahead a little bit. In the spirit of making up, Betty and Veronica are getting ready for the pep rally together. They're zipping each other's like cheerleading outfits up.
Oh, yeah.
They make up.
They are making up.
The next makeup is what stuck with me.
Oh, yeah.
Pictured here is Archie post, I believe, a little Grundy conversation where he's like, I told them, Geraldine. That was not a good Archie.
I really liked it, though. So
yeah.
Archie talked to his dad, Fred, and was like, what if there was this girl who didn't want me to say something, but like I really should?
Yeah.
And Fred was like, well, just say it.
Yeah.
He says it nicer. But he's basically, it's
just
just like, do it. So Archie's made his mind up. He's like, okay, I'm gonna tell Weatherby and Keller, I'm gonna tell him that like we heard the shot.
Yeah.
He tells Grundy, he's like, I'm gonna tell him.
Yeah.
Just
even
so you know.
I think he even gives her the out of like, I'll even say that like I was alone at Sweetwater River, or like I can put in an anonymous tip. Like I just need to let the police know, and I'm gonna do that.
Yes.
And she like kind of accepts it.
Yeah, because I think at this point she's like, okay, like we've had like 4 conversations about this at this point, like.
And so that happens on the field, middle of
which is
pep
crazy.
Rally setup, but they kind of make up also, Archie and Grundy for the moment.
Yeah.
And then Archie jogs away to the bleachers, under the bleachers by the side of the stands. I don't know. He just has a little like, he catches Jughead's eye. And they have just the sweetest little conversation of like, bro, like, you're my bro.
Like, we need to be friends again.
Yeah. And like, I don't know, like you can see it here in KJ's little look. Like
they love each other.
They like, I swear the first time I saw this scene, I was like, oh, are they gonna kiss right now? And following the theme of something sticking with one of us more than the other.
I never noticed that until this watch through. But then if you really look into his eyes, it is
like
intense.
It's charged. I don't know. And maybe that's just projection, but I really read into it and I liked it. But that's like one of the pep rally makeups that also happens. So if you're keeping track, that's like
3.
Betty Veronica, Archie Grundy, Archie Jughead, like all pre-pep rally. And then we really get into the meat of the pep rally.
Which... We have more twerking.
And this is where I feel like we get the actual like full visual of the routine. Which is crazy. Because it's performed with the live Josie and the Pussycats band. Like
singing Candy Girl.
Yeah.
Which they do like a rap beginning.
They like... maybe I just haven't listened to that song enough.
I don't think it's in the song. It can't be.
Because like... the song started and I was like, what is this? And then it got to the chorus and I was like,
and they're like, sugar, honey.
The freestyle verse at the beginning, like a cappella, is a lot.
It is a lot.
And I think that might be what they twerk to.
It is. No, it is. They're like in the middle of her, candy girl. It's a lot. And this is also like dedicated to Jason. Like, I don't know. There's just a lot going on here.
Cheryl, I think maybe that's why Veronica got the solo, because Cheryl was going to be on stage dedicating it to Jason. True. Because she's up on stage with Josie and everyone. And she's like, to my brother, like, kind of as the football team is running out, like, for everyone to cheer for them. As the big, like, cheer number is happening, like, she's doing this big dedication. And she kind of like looks out into the crowd and she notices something sinister.
Oh, yeah.
She's starting to have some little like flashbacks to Jason, like being there. And like, I don't know, she's having this whole like revelation of like...
Archie's a redhead and Archie has the same number. And that is enough in Cheryl's mind to go, my brother.
Yeah. And so she sees the ghost basically of Jason during this whole like extravaganza. And she flips out.
The way that I love this is
the
like
shot
cannot be overstated.
It's so good.
Like she books it out of there. Like books it. And it's pouring rain at this point.
Yeah.
And she is running so fast.
Across like it's like a wide shot of just like basically the entire football field and Cheryl running across the length of it.
Like honestly, she should be the running back.
And
like I don't know.
So funny.
It's so funny.
Like I don't know what about it, but just Cheryl alone on screen running.
And also, from personal experience, the like ground gets really slippery, and I feel like she definitely would have like ate shit
and
when
that
she
would
fell.
have only been funnier. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Shout out to Madeline
for booking it across that stage. Yeah.
But this goes into our next thing, which is where I didn't remember it, but somebody else did.
I certainly did. So Veronica comes in and is comforting
Cheryl. Because Cheryl's post-run across the field escaped to the locker rooms to have a good cry.
Oh, yeah. And she's like, you don't understand. He was supposed to come back.
Yeah.
And Veronica's like, what are you talking about? Huh? Like, what do you mean? You thought Jason was alive?
Yeah.
So we have that. But also, they're hugging. Yeah. She's crying. And I'm a big hurt comfort girly.
And Betty's watching on, like...
And let's just say that I read a few fan fictions that started with this exact scene. And I'll let you just decide what happens.
Shade in all of the like rest.
But I'm just saying that this stuck out to me in a way that cannot be described.
And unfortunately, I forgot this entire interaction happened.
And the duality of man.
The duality of man. But yeah, Betty's looking on. I think this also really cements. Betty and Veronica had their mini makeup pre-pep rally. Mm-hmm. This is like post-mid pep rally. Mm-hmm. And Betty's seeing how nice of a friend Veronica can be. Mm-hmm. She's seeing like how much empathy she has for Cheryl, and like I don't know, I think this is where Betty fully like is like, oh, Veronica can be a good friend and someone that I would want to have a friendship with.
Yeah, she's like, not just like a raging bitch.
Yeah. when Betty sees Veronica in this new light of like friendship and yellow for friendship, I don't know. They like have a full moment, and then I think this is where Betty is like, sorry, we can't go to any of those like mani-pedi things anymore, but like, do you want to go to Pops?
Yes.
And so we go there after the pep rally. And at first it's just Betty and Veronica like having a little tea.
As it should be.
Oh. And they're like really gabbing and like getting along.
They have their vanilla and their chocolate smoothies. Like
the coordinated milkshakes that will be
I said
a through line.
smoothies.
And that's okay.
It's not a smoothie.
It's okay. But yeah, basically, it's just the two of them, and then Archie and Jughead kind of like bumble in out of nowhere.
What were they doing? Huh.
What took them so long? But then this is our first core four, guys.
And it's so sweet. I forget how sweet it is.
So nice. Like, I feel like a lot of the plot things like went to the wayside at the latter half of this episode so that everyone could just make up and have a fun time.
Yeah, and I love that for them.
And I love that for them because it's so sweet. I feel like this is like definitely one of, if not the main, like we get these sweeping shots of like the core four like laughing, drinking their milkshakes at Pops.
Yeah,
and, like,
it's really sweet, honestly.
Jughead's like narrating.
He is narrating, and he's being like, there were only 3 of us. And I'm like, okay, calm down.
Yeah.
But I still think it's really sweet. And this is, I feel like, a returning motif of all of them at Pops.
Yeah. And we get kind of this like zoom out from the end of the episode where they're all just like vibing there.
And it's really sweet. I really like it.
And so yeah, is that the last one?
No, so it would be cool if this was the end, but no, this is Riverdale, so we're gonna have to spice things up.
Right.
And we get to where Jughead is saying that, well, arrests are being made, and you know what's kind of crazy is, well, okay. We're back in bio class.
We're back in bio class. It's the next day after the pep rally. I guess this was like a Thursday or a midweek pep rally.
Yeah, what?
Maybe the weekend happened.
I didn't even think about that.
Maybe the weekend happened and like this is a Monday class. I don't know. The pep rally schedule, guys. Anywho, we're back in bio class, as you said. Jughead's narrating about arrests. Sheriff Keller's coming into the room. Mind you, this is like after Archie maybe did a confession. This is after like, I don't know. Like a lot of people are in this class. Kevin is, I think, there also. Mm-hmm. But Sheriff Keller walks in. We don't know who he's going towards. And Cheryl stands up.
Cheryl stands up and is so fucking dramatic. Again, with this girl. I love it, though. It's really iconic.
It's really good.
And she's like, go ahead. Take me in.
Yeah.
You already know I'm guilty. Girl, of what?
Girl, of what? Because as you mentioned earlier, when she was crying to Veronica, she was like, he should come back. Like, she thought he was alive. I don't know.
Yeah. So then in what world would she, like, make everybody think that she killed her own brother?
By shooting him in the forehead.
Like, that's crazy. Like, point blank.
I
like,
don't know.
Oh, my God.
But, yeah. Cheryl basically is like, take me in, officer. And then he does. And then we find out through Jughead's outro narration that Jason didn't even die until over a week after the 4th of July. Yeah. So Archie was freaking out over nothing. So that wasn't the gunshot that killed Jason.
It was
that he heard.
a gunshot.
It was a gunshot, but it wasn't the one.
The gunshot. Yeah. So Archie has been really flipping out about this the whole time, and it wasn't the one that killed him. So that's great for him.
And then this is where we leave off. Big questions of like, did Cheryl do it? What did, like, if Archie didn't hear that, then when was the shot? What happened?
And then what was that other shot? Why are people just like firing guns off?
I guess hunting. I don't know.
Yeah.
But that's kind of where we get the end of this episode. Here it is. This is episode 2 added onto the big timeline. We've got some new little like core 4 moments like highlighted over here. And I don't know, it's just really cutie. The new Archie, the new Betty, Veronica. Jughead actually got some play.
Yes.
And so much Cheryl.
This was a very Cheryl-centric episode.
And thank God for that. But yeah, I think that's our end of this episode.
It is.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, bye.
Bye. The energy of the studio today is like...
I don't know what's
forgetful.
happening.
Like I don't know I think we fell out of a coconut tree.
I think we did, and that's okay.
And that's okay.
That's okay.
It's okay.